next guest. Phil Simms, kind enough to join us right now, two-time Super Bowl champion. Check out Simms Complete with Matt and Phil Simms, presented by FanDuel on the Believe Network, breaking down all the matchups you need to see here. And Phil, we appreciate your time. We were just talking about that great moniker down the home stretch of the season, the team no one wants to play. Could you make an argument in the NFC that is the Dallas Cowboys right now based on what we've seen from them?
Yeah, I think you could. Listen, the passing game and what I love about it is it's attack. And, of course, the talent is there. And just watching the games they played here of late, Dak Prescott, if you want to get better at throwing the football, you got to throw it. But they're throwing it a lot and throwing it well. And they're a scary team along with some other ones. On the other side of the AFC, I look at the Houston Texans, and who wants to play that defense as you go down the time? But you're right, Cowboys, explosive. Dak is hot as hell, throwing the ball great. And, last but not least, I want to give some credit to that head coach because he knows what he's doing too.
Yeah, he sure does, without question. Also, the Carolina Panthers beat the presumptive best team in the NFL in the Rams. Yeah. They still have 2 games against Tampa for the division. Are you buying into Carolina?
Listen, this time last year, I was sitting there going, well, the poor Carolina Panthers are going to go find a quarterback. What are they going to do? The head coach and, all that stuff. And look what we got now. Bryce Young, he is solidifying his point on this football team, throwing the ball really well. I like what they're doing. These quarterbacks, we hear so much discussion about all of them. But when the quarterback has the offense that's built to really fit him, that's when you see great success. And that's what's kind of happened in Carolina. Yeah, in Carolina, I would not be shocked to see him win the NFC South. They're going to be a tough match here, it seems like, for the rest of the way.
Phil, you mentioned the Houston Texans as that team no one wants to see right now. Well, bad timing award for the Kansas City Chiefs, who just lost to those Dallas Cowboys and now get to see the Houston Texans. Are we going to need to start preparing for an AFC playoffs this year without Kansas City involved?
Man, it's hard to say that for me. I don't know how you guys feel, but the Kansas City Chiefs, no matter what I look at them, I go, look, they're battle-tested, they're rough, they're tough. They've been in these wars. They know how to win them. But I would say this is the first time in many, many years I go, wow, this could be tough. They have a chance not to make it. But if I had to bet yes or no, I'll say yes, that they'll find a way to make it into the playoffs.
Phil, what's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles that you see?
Man, where can I start here, Mike? Do I have time? But, when one part of the game is not working, we got whatever. They're not running the ball well. We know that. So that's making the passing game maybe a little tougher. When I watch them play and I watch the games, I watch them every single week. They need to just throw the football more. You know how you get good at something? You do it more. And, they run the ball. Let's be really, really careful throwing it. And, oh, my God, let's don't throw an interception. Man, I said this earlier with my son. Show me a quarterback this time of the year throwing 1 interception or 2, which Jalen Hurts has, and I'll show you a quarterback that's not taking enough chances. And what I mean by chances, throw it in there when they're somewhat covered, but you have a window to get it in there. And I think the Eagles, I really believe this, and I had it happen to me as a player. Not that I want to get into that, but when it's you gotta get a game and just say, we're gonna throw the damn football to win today. And because that way the quarterback, the receivers, the offensive line, the play callers, the play designers, they get into it, and now we can move it forward. So that's what I see. I see a very, very simple pass game as I watch their concepts and what they're doing. And also I see a quarterback hesitant to try to make great throws. And they got to turn it around, no doubt.
I think another wide receiver hoping for that same stanza for his team might be Justin Jefferson with the Minnesota Vikings after this weekend. Now, Max Brosmer, God love him, got fed against a defense in Seattle that's one of the best in the NFL. But in general, it's been a really down year for production overall on that offense. How surprised are you that Kevin O'Connell, who's usually one of the best play callers in football, hasn't been able to make it work with whoever's been under center so far this year?
Well, so far, Brosner, let's give him a pass. First game, like you said, out. Oh, wow, he must have been excited because he probably was going, damn, couldn't I get a little different team than this? I'll give the receivers for Minnesota a big compliment. I'm surprised they bit their tongue this long. And, you watch the games and you see, Justin Jefferson, you see all the receivers, you go, wow, they're open. Where's the throw? The throw comes, the throw is off target. And, they've been quiet about it. But I don't know what to say. J.J. McCarthy has just got to throw the ball better. He's got to be more accurate, and he's another one. They're calling all the plays to try to give him success, but he's just wildly inaccurate right now. And, when you're an inaccurate quarterback in the NFL, a lot of things come with it. Losing and throwing interceptions, and that's what he has done so far this year.
Phil, you and I played in the same era, which means you played against my former teammate, Reggie White. You never had to play against Lawrence Taylor, thank God, unless Bill Parcells let him hit you in practice.
No.
Miles Garrett is 4 sacks away from breaking the NFL sack record. He has 5 games to do it. Would you put Miles Garrett in the Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor category?
Yes, I would. I think he's every bit of that. And, he plays in a league now that, of course, Mike, and we all know, it's more pass now than it's been in many, many years. And so there's opportunities there. But, listen, he is one of a kind. One, he looks like a great NFL player. I mean, man, you talk about fitting the profile, he does.
Yeah.
And he's got everything. He's athletic, he's mobile, he's bendable, all that. And he has great speed to get there. And of course, as you know, we tried to double team Reggie White all the time. And you know what? We tried, but it didn't work. And Miles Garrett's probably in that same category. Same with Lawrence Taylor. People had to change their pass protections because of Lawrence Taylor because he was an outside linebacker. But Miles Garrett is – if I was a quarterback in a lineup, I'd be going, where is he? Okay, he's over there. Can somebody double team him? I mean, I think he's really special. I thought that about him when he was coming out of college. So he has lived up to what everybody thought he was going to be.
Yeah, first off the draft boards, and if I had to draft for when the aliens eventually show up, I want him first off the bust as well to defend the human race here. Awesome stuff from Phil Simms, as always. Check out Simms Complete with Matt and Phil Simms, Sundays on FanDuel Sports Network. Phil, we appreciate the time. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. Keep it up, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. All right, coming up next, let's get to it. The big news of the weekend. The Lane train is on a plane heading to Baton Rouge. What made this all go? Next on Golic and Golic.